Hello, friends and neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here, and welcome out to the garage. It's Saturday, time to clean up, and I've got a number of bottles that I think are at their journey's end. So this, of course, was inspired by Roy, the Genuine article, and his recycled reviews. Check out Roy on Aquavitae immediately if you haven't. And if you'd like to hear my thoughts on 18 whiskeys, I got some Scotch, I got some Bourbon, I got some Canadian, a couple of Irish. Stick with me and I'll go through it as quick as I can. 18 whiskeys in hopefully less than 20. 3, 4. Okay, as I said in the opener, I'm going through a bunch. We're going to start with some Scotch. So the first Scotch I have is one of the Dewar's Smooth. That's the Caribbean expression. And, you know, it's an 8-year-old, but blended Scotch. So we got some grain, we got some malted barley. And what did I think? Well, this wasn't bad. This changed in the bottle for sure. It was far too sweet, rum forward for me at the beginning. Near kind of the middle end, I thought, oh, not too bad. But would I buy it again? Not this one. Same series. This is Dewar's Illegal Smooth. Again, they're 18-year-old blended, but this time it's finished in mezcal casks. And that finishing really helped this Scotch. So for me, this one took kind of that nice creamy nutty blend that the Dewar's puts out and added just a little bit of herbal note and extra smoke. This one worked for me, and for 25 bucks, this is something I'll buy again. Here is a very simple 12-year-old Scotch, Glenrothes Speyside Scotch. You know, it's 43%, drinks nice, lots of orchard fruits, a little bit of caramel came in there for me, liked it. Did it evolve or change? No, you know, this bottle stayed pretty true to where I began to where I finished. But I didn't mind it, you know, and it's often a decent price. As I said, it's a little bit off the floor at 40. It's not an integrity malt, but it's nice. Would I buy it again? You know, when I see it on sale, I'll probably buy it again. Okay, let's go to a cask strength. This is Glengoyne cask strength. I believe it's batch 5. Help me out. Nope, this is batch 6, so it's 59.8%. And, you know, batch 6 was finished entirely or aged in sherry casks and really came through. It became one of the many full or cask strength sherry scotches that I've been enjoying lately, and this is good. It's not maybe as good or as rich as the Tamdhu that I'm really into right now. I don't have the current 8-year-old open from Kilkerran, but this affordable, really good flavors all the way through. It didn't change much, but I'll buy it again. Okay, let's move into some Glendronachs. I managed to find Glendronach de Helion. This is an 8-year-old, and it's, you know, supposed to be more of an entrance Scotch, although I hear that perhaps they're not going to have it on the shelf anymore, which I think is kind of too bad. This one was, you know, a combination of ex-bourbon and sherry casks, which, you know, Glendronach, I'm usually thinking all sherry, but it worked okay for me. 46%, which is nice. I'm pretty sure this one's filtered. Now I can't remember. But did it change for me? This one also didn't evolve much, but I liked it from day one. If I saw it on sale, I think the Glendronach de Helion, I would buy it again. Classic Glendronach. So this is the original, Glendronach 12. So Glendronach 12 is finished only in, aged, not finished, aged only in Oloroso and PX sherry, so only X sherry casks. It's a nice, you know, they'll say Highland Scotch on here. Whether it's Highland or Speyside, we'll let that debate roll away on here. Highland single malt, 43%, and it just continues to be an excellent Scotch. I know I hear rumors they're going to go into chill filtration. Are they even going to move away from their natural color? You know, all of that is really disappointing because Glendronach has been such an excellent Scotch, such a dependable Scotch for me. This is my go-to when I want someone to just, Alan was talking about kind of medium level whiskeys. This could be an entrance whiskey, but it's just, I think it's an affordable, easy grab, but ex-sherry done well. So I definitely will buy a 12-year-old if I see it on the shelf. This is a bit of a, not a unicorn, but a different bottle. That's the Glendronach single cask 11-year-old. Only PX that I picked up a number of years ago, opened when my dad passed, and spent a few years nursing it. 54.8%. You know, I found this on a clearance, which is ridiculous. When I did buy it, I didn't realize what a great grab it was, and I cannot recommend something like this high enough. If you see something like this and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, you know, go for it. This was big, bold, rich, dark, chewy. It was certainly thicker and richer than that Glengoyne cask strength that I had. A little sweetness though, because this one was PX, but man, I would buy that again every day of the week. Glenrothes, I've got a couple of them here. This is Glenrothes 12, just their regular 12 release, part of the new, I think the new Solero line. And it was good. Got it on sale. It was decent. I got a little more caramel and ex-bourbon notes from it than I was expecting. I thought we'd see a lot more sherry. You know, because I think this one is aged exclusively in sherry seasoned oak. So it's only sherry seasoned oak, so I shouldn't have been getting those bourbon notes, but there was something about the way it was coming off with the vanillas that's what came to mind. It's only 40%. Did I like it? Yeah, it was okay. Lots of vanilla, decent. I probably actually won't buy it again for quite some time. Now a different one from the Solero line. This is the Glenrothes Whiskey Maker's Cut. So that one's, you know, a little stronger, a little barkier, and definitely had a little more resinous sherry notes in it. It was a little aggressive. I would say the casking or something made it a little rough, but it was rough in the way that I like it. 48.8% and first fill sherry. Boy, I like this one, and I'm sure the Whiskey Maker's Cut will find its way onto my shelves again. I guess that's it for Scotch. I've only got 2 Irish here. So one of them is Jameson Black Barrel. It's not a complicated dram. This is a nice Irish blend that has been extra matured or rematured or finished in recharred oak. So it gives it a little more oak. And you know what? There's something about that little extra char on Jameson that comes off nice. This is an affordable dram. It's not a complicated dram. It's only 40%. Did it change much? No, there's not a lot of journey on this bottle, but I liked it. And I'm pretty sure that Jameson Black is going to be on my shelf again. The only other Irish I have today for you guys is the Whistler. Now, this is a sourced Irish. I know that they're working on their own distillery, but this was a natural cask strength, I think only bourbon. Yeah. And boy, it was, where's the strength? 59%. Oh no, it's not only bourbon. Look at that. It has a second casking of sherry oak. And I missed that, I think, even when I reviewed it. But it's non-chill filtered, natural color. This is a bit of a monster. You know, I think one of the challenges with Irish is, for me, is it takes me a little while to get back into an Irish rhythm. They're usually a little smoother, a little lighter, a little more honey, a little more cream. And the Black Barrel, probably why I was drawn to that is because it added a little more oak backbone. And right now on my whiskey journey, I like that. This Whistler, this had nothing but oak backbone. This was very oaky and rough, and I loved it. If I see it at a good price, definitely buying that Irish again. All right, let's move into, I only got a couple of bourbons here, which is a little odd. I usually have pretty much balanced bourbon and Scotch. This is Russell's Reserve. This is, you know, the classic 10-year-old. And if you've been with me a while, you should know that I've really come in to love Wild Turkey. I really do. I appreciate their work, like the little bit of sourness I get on the dram. But there's something about Russell's Reserve 10 that keeps me from loving it. Now, having said that, this is my second bottle in 3 years, so I probably will buy it again. But where I am right now on my journey, I'll buy Wild Turkey 101 or Rare Breed, and Rare Breed's about the same cost as Russell's 10 for me, like significantly sooner than I will Russell's Reserve 10. Now, I know there's lots of fans out there, but for me, I'm actually going to say, in this sitting, not buy again. But I know I will. Another bourbon that I have here is, Evan Williams Single Barrel. I think this one is the 2012 release, and Again, a number of viewers have tuned in and said Evan Williams single barrel is a real miss for them because it's very light, 43%, and doesn't have a lot of that backbone we're going for when we're often reaching for a bourbon. However, for me, I like the flavors in Evan Williams single barrel, and I have yet to have a real miss. Some of them are much better than others, but this 2012 for me, not bad at all. And I love all the information, the detail they give you here. And yeah, sure, it's 43.3%, and I'd love a little more backbone in there, but this is tasty, easy to relax with. I'm probably going to buy another Evan Williams single barrel. Last bourbon I didn't actually spend a lot of time with, so it's tough to talk about Journey and Journey's End. This is the Breckenridge Full Proof, I think they call it. Oh, High Proof. Breckenridge High Proof, so it's 105 proof whiskey, and I got that on a trip and shared it with cousin Brad, and so it might not have been on my shelf long enough for me to really talk Journey, but I liked it. Yeah, maybe it's not the best whiskey out there, that's for sure, but I appreciated the character of this one, kind of spicy, and at 52.5%, lots of backbone, so it was a good one to have camping. I will buy another from Breckenridge. I'm thinking about their PX. If you know about that one, why don't you drop a comment? All right, we're gonna get into some Canadians here. I've got a Canadian here, 40 Creek Victory. Now, 40 Creek puts out a lot of great Canadian whiskey, and they probably don't get enough love on my channel because their profile tends to be buttery sweet, maple syrup sweet. And while that's a great style for many, it's a little sweet for me. This Victory, though, they add a little bit of their starboard wine, which is kind of like port, and they've got some extra casking going on, extra staves. This was a nice whiskey, and this one had a journey. When I first got into it, it was exactly where I started, a little too sweet. I kind of walked away from it for a while, like a long time. Like it probably sat on the shelf for a whole year, kind of half full. And then when I came back to it, I started to really catch some of that port note in with the sweet Canadian, and it was nice. I actually enjoyed 43%. This Victory quite a bit, and it's still here in Edmonton on some shelves for about 65 bucks. At that price, I might go buy another bottle. All right, this is a monster. This has made the rounds. This is Alberta Premium. Now, this is batch 2, 66% alcohol. Of course, it blew up when Jim Murray called it the whiskey of the year. That was the 65.1%. This second release, the 66%, was still a good, strong, full rye. A little bubblegum in there, a little cinnamon, red heart, big red chew gum, that kind of stuff, right? But it's still, you could do anything you wanted with this. At 66%, you could blow yourself away, or you could proof it down to where you wanted. You could put it over ice without a problem. You could make a wicked cocktail. I like this, and I heard batch 3 is out, so I'd definitely be buying batch 3, even though I've kept my first batch at about halfway. Two more Canadians. I guess this one is this is an older bottling. This is 9020 from Highwood. It's a 20-year-old Canadian whiskey bottled at 45%. The idea, I think, is this is 100% corn, and it was from the Potter's Distillery in BC when Highwood bought them over. Except I've been talking to their brand rep, and they said that they're released. They pulled it from the shelves, and they kind of ran out of stock, and now they've released it again. So they must be creating their own juice, because Potter's has been out of business for a long time. Either way, this is still just a steal, and this also was a journey in some ways similar to that 40 Creek. It started sweet like all Canadians, but it has enough oak in it that I believe it tells a good, kind of toast vanilla, toast marshmallow, a little bit of oak story. This is a must buy for Canadian whiskey fans. If you see it around, give it a try. I think it's undervalued or underrated, and I would say, you got to try it at least once. Last one here is a Shelter Point. Now, this is a Canadian whiskey, but Shelter Point is from Vancouver Island, and they make, or at least I've only had their single malt. That's not true. I've also had their wheat whiskey, the Forbidden. So I think of them as single malt producers, but obviously they're making more than that. This is a single malt. This one was just, I think this was an ex-bourbon single cask, and it's 58.1%. And it was beautiful. No natural color, non-child filtration. This is how I hope craft, small batch, Canadian single malt really puts their work together. I tried to go as quick as I could and keep it as interesting for you. I know looking through 18 bottles is a real trick. And you can tell, being a whiskey fellow, I probably rebuy most of them because I like whiskey. However, I've tried to give you a little hint of what the major flavor is and what I'm getting. I also tried a new setup where maybe I tried to hold the bottle in a way. I don't even know how that's going to look. If it worked and I've put it in, let me know if you like that or if you like to see a different format going forward. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great week.